A virtual reality daycare. That was my first impression of Gorilla Tag, but luckily I found someone competent enough to help me figure out what I was supposed to do. But more on that later. First, I want to tell you how Gorilla Tag pretty much just throws you to the wolves. Or, the gorillas. What was your first experience with Gorilla Tag like? Let me know in the comments. When I first started the game, I was in a rocky cave with arrows. And that was it. That was the introduction. Once you figure out how to move, you can get yourself out of the cave, and immediately you are presented with an in-progress game of Gorilla Tag, without any help on what is happening, or more importantly, how to do it. I also wasn't completely convinced that the people playing knew what was going on either.
Can someone kick me?
Some of them just seemed to kind of hang out. Once I figured out how to get into that pretty cool looking treehouse, I realized this must be the command center, so to speak. A hub to change your name, change your color, decide on which of the 4 game type modes you want to play. None of which seem to ever end. But I didn't figure that out on my own. I had to be shown. And luckily, I found a willing individual who was already teaching some others. Though it took me several times of playing to find this kind of kindness. No one else seemed to care. What is the point of this game?
What is the point of this game?
Guy, come back.
This little treehouse hub had a few hollowed out spots to take you to different places. 2 of them took you to different worlds or maps, both of which were pretty cool. If you go down, you enter into the caves, where I was presented with my first ropes to climb, and started figuring out that there actually was a game in progress. It just never starts and never ends. Gorilla Tag seems to be nothing more than a playground in VR. If you want to participate in the active game, you can, but you're in no way penalized if you don't. Even though there's an official game, it leaves plenty of room for just playing like a child. And that was my first epiphany while playing. This really was a dream come true for childhood Super Hippie Man. I loved monkeys and the chance to actually be one, climbing and chasing the other like I do at the zoo. It was all there. This game had nailed it. I was just a few decades past caring anymore. At this point, I was still struggling to figure out what I was doing, so I explored a little more and eventually found my teacher. My teacher helped me change my name, which wouldn't fit, so I just went with Super Hippie. And my color, I changed to a very look-at-me purple. I had another epiphany moment when he took me to the store. This free game has a serious business side to it. I forgot to mention one of the initial things I noticed when I first saw other gorillas. They had cool hats and bow ties and badges. How do I get those? My teacher said every time you play, you get 100 shiny rocks as currency, and you can save up. Or you can go to the ATM and convert your real money into monkey money. Suddenly, I was being reminded of the actual parks I've taken my kids to that have monkey bars and things to climb, and then you can go to the vending machines for a snack or soda. Gorilla Tag literally is just a virtual reality park, and it's genius. It was so similar to being in a real park that I felt a little awkward being there without my own kids present.
I think he has a
Gorilla Tag has 4 different game modes: Casual, Infection, which seems to be the most common, Hunt, and Paint Brawl. My favorite was Paint Brawl, which had pretty neat physics for the slingshot. However, none of these games were very serious at all. In fact, I heard players talking about mini games, which apparently are unofficial. They're just games that kids have made up and have caught on, some of which are very similar to the games we played growing up. The most shocking thing about Gorilla Tag was that it's so structureless. This is only shocking because of the sheer popularity of the game. I've been hearing about it for years thinking it would be fun to check it out, but I expected at the very least a tutorial, or maybe a scoreboard or some kind of goal to show who's ahead. It's literally just schoolyard play. A bunch of kids running around pretending to be animals while swinging on things and playing tag. I don't know exactly what I was expecting with as much success as it has, but it wasn't this. So I learned the basics about climbing trees, doing the Jackie Chan climb, and other maneuvers to avoid getting tagged. But I realized this game, though neat and genius, it's just not for me. I don't see how people can play this game for hours on end. But then again, I can remember a time in my life when this would have been a dream come true. But as an adult, I just need something with a little more structure and rules. Let me know if you play Gorilla Tag and how often and why. Also, let me know in the comments if you gave up on it or you just hate it. In the meantime, check out one of my other videos.